Virtual reality. Hello, this is Iron Cross. Sounds like you're doing very well. Um, Glad to hear about your promotion um, and your girlfriend. Me myself, I'm doing okay. Um, I don't know about you, but I love watching football on TV. My favorite team, of course, is the Dallas Cowboys, and has been since I was about 5 years old. Ever since I knew what football really was, and I've really enjoyed the Dallas Cowboys, throughout my whole life, and also like the Kansas City Chiefs. They're doing really, really lousy this year. It's because they're kind of like doing like the Kansas City Royals do, which is they're almost like a farm club to really, really good players. They develop those players here, and once they get really good, then they go to make bigger money elsewhere in the bigger markets. That's the way I kind of wish baseball was. Um, the bigger markets, of course, can afford to pay the better players a lot more money, so they're always a lot more successful. But Kansas City Royals at least had 1985, and that was the last year. They did really, really well. Um, but as for me, I think the Kansas City Chiefs have been very, very irritating to me as late. Um, Here this past year, they ship off one of our best pass rushers since Derek Thomas, which was an awesome player that I really, really enjoy watching. Jared Allen, guy's got a lot of energy, great attitude, and the guy's got a motor that just will not quit. And I kind of feel sorry for Tony Gonzalez being stuck on our football team. Um, he's the best, one of the very best tight ends that's ever played the game, and he's only got maybe one, maybe two more years left in the NFL. And with this lousy team that he's on right now, I certainly can't see him getting to a championship, and that's sad for someone who's had an illustrious career like he's had. So anyway, just like I said, I'm a huge football fan. I love watching football. Um, Everything else is going pretty good. I think one of the things I mentioned a little bit that's really, really bothering me a lot is um, I know you coming from an atheist perspective could run across some Christians that don't really act too much like Christians, and I'd like to do a video on that. Hopefully people will understand that just because people say they're Christians doesn't make them one. Um, it's your faith, and some of these people, it says that sure they're a believer, but they continue to go out and maybe cheat on their spouse and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, that contradicts the Bible. That contradicts God's word. So um, me myself, seeing other Christians say themselves that they're going to vote for Barack Obama, who supports gay marriage, supports abortion and infanticide and everything else. I think that's the most irritating thing for me, is to see Christians support the guy, knowing these things. For a Christian, even if it's going to improve your finances and things like that, how in the world could a Christian get past killing babies? Well, as long as I make more money per hour, then sure, that's fine. As long as I get a tax break, then kill as many babies as you want. I'll go ahead and support this guy. I can't see it. And for somebody like Barack Obama, if like I've said many, many times, if he stood on a public platform and said, I'm not a Christian, I'm an agnostic or an atheist or something like that, then fine. But when you're standing up on a public platform and you're stating that you're a Christian and that your faith sustains you, as he said many times, then we really need to examine that. I mean, if we have politicians that we catch in lies, That's an important thing to know that, hey, I'm going to vote for a guy that, has been caught in lies. And why would he lie about being a Christian if he's not a Christian? We have to look at this. Excuse me. This guy professes to believe God's word, yet for "thou shalt not kill," I guess only applies if it's to regular people. But if it's a pregnant woman, then she gets to decide whether to kill the baby or not. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, other than that, those are the things that I would say is kind of irritating to me right now. One more thing I can think about future reality is this. You know what'll drive me crazy, and most of the time I think I'm pretty good at being patient, and I still got a long ways to go. But when I'll pull up and I'll see that someone has been driving, and I see someone, even though I have the right of way, if I know that they've been waiting and stuff like that, I'll wave them on and say, go ahead. I don't know what's going on in these people's minds when they've been sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then I pull up and say, go ahead, and they'll look across and they'll just look puzzled at me, like they're shocked to see somebody offer that to them, and they'll just sit and sit and sit and stare at me, and I'll keep waving and flashing my lights, go ahead, and they'll just sit there. That's one of the things I don't understand. I'll try to always be a courteous driver. I always use my blinkers. I think that's driving 101, and I think people should use their blinkers and use their seat belts, by the way. But anyway, that's my rant for right now. God bless you. Take care. This is Iron Cross.